Hi guys, it's Luba from Crystal House of Soul. In this video, I will be telling you about what is awakening. You see, a lot of people say that this is a beautiful process, and yes, it is. But as well, what I don't tell you is that this is a very, very hard work. This is a very hard process. You see, when you are awakening, like the revolution is happening to be able to have an evolution. I'll tell you from scratch how it looks like when you're awakening. Like everybody has it in its own way, but the basis of it is the same. You see, I'll give you some examples to show you a picture of it, what I mean. When you're starting to perceive things with your soul, when you have in your senses, right, you perceive the reality around you in a way that you've been taught. So when you look at green color, you know it's green, right? But when you're starting to wake up to your soul, then you're starting to get an additional sense, and then all your other senses are changing. They are enhancing. You are starting to experience reality inside you and outside of you in a different way. You are starting to get in the know-how, the knowledge, the understanding of everything what's going on. And this can be terrifying, because when you're starting to realize things, what you're seeing is usually, what am I doing here? How did I end up at that point of life where I am? Why these people are around me? What's going on? And this is where you want to be. You want to start questioning everything. Awakening, it says it all, right? It's like when you're asleep, you don't know what's going on. When you're opening your eyes, when you're waking up in the morning, it's like, oh, I need a second to realize what's going on. I need at least a coffee to wake up, right? Well, in here you get a similar thing. You're starting to wake up, and what you're starting to see and experience is different what you thought it was. So it's very important in that process when you're waking up to never doubt yourself, to have a self-confidence in that you gotta be very strong mentally, and your structure will be changing. The basis on which you were built as a child, what you've been taught, and in terms of your unconscious mind, what combined with your conscious mind, your body is combining with your soul, so all your reality is starting to change. And that's why you gotta be very, very strong inside. You have to believe in yourself and what you're experiencing, because you can go crazy. This is like real danger, because if you're not believing in yourself, if you're doubting yourself of what you're experiencing, is because it stands out of norms, then you might think you're crazy and like poison yourself with pills. That is just gonna get you really crazy. You don't want to do that to yourself. I remember when I would be in a process of waking up, there was nobody around me, and people would say I'm crazy, but then when I proved them, when I showed them, that was the moment when they was like, didn't know what to say. You could see on their faces that they have no explanation for that, but they still don't believe it. This is quite a funny twist with people. When I experienced feelings inside me and visions of things which I can do, for example, then I had this moment inside me where, excuse the noise at the background, where I would say, probably I'm crazy, but let's practice, let's make some experiments to find out, right? Because everything what I was experiencing was too much logic in it. And when I was experimenting, I would see that this is real, this is really happening. It's not just in my head, you know? And this is the beautiful thing. You gotta go through this as well. You have to build your own trust and foundation in what you will be going through. So that is so important step in terms of waking up, awakening. And a lot of people will have their own translation of everything they are experiencing. Why this is happening? Well, this is happening because of our perception. We will receive messages, the ones that our perception will allow us to understand. So let's say an example. Somebody in their belief system has a specific image of an angel, how an angel should look like, right? Let's say one person thinks that angels should have beautiful white wings, like shiny armor, and so on, right? And other person will have a belief that angel will look like an elf. And that's the beautiful thing, that when a person will start seeing an angel, they will see that angel in exact way their conscious mind and their subconscious mind perceives an angel, how the angel should look like. This is the way they're gonna see it. So if somebody says, oh, you know what, I've had astral projection, and in my experience it looked like that, right? And another person will say, hey, I had an astral projection and in my experience it looked different, so probably you don't know what you're talking about. Stop there. It's their own individual interpretation of this experience. You gotta understand that between each other, not to fight each other, okay? Because a lot of fighting going on between spiritual people which are starting to wake up, they are fighting with each other. This is so sad. This is really worrying. You just gotta get understanding of it, what's happening out there. And unfortunately, there are some people as well that are genuinely sick. They are ill mentally, and they create their own world within their heads and get an illusion of things. And this is possible as well, but you can easily recognize that kind of person. If you just do a few tests for that kind of person, you will know if this is only happening in their heads or this is real. People that are ill and manifest illusion, they can be dangerous to others, because then they only would talk about negative things. Everything they see is negative, and they would say, oh, they see everywhere energy vampires and things like that. It's a huge difference, which you would recognize it with your heart. You can recognize who is genuinely waking up to their soul and who is unfortunately ill. You see, esoteric world, spiritual world now is much safer. There have been so many changes that this is a huge celebration time in terms of energy realms. It's much safer, really. I'll tell you about that. I'll tell you about the changes in a different video. But people which are awakening should know that as well, that there are some dangers, but not as it used to. What awakening is? Well, if you notice, when, let's say, one person in a family is awakening, then this kind of person is the black sheep. It's the one that is different. And let's say it's a husband and a wife and they have children, and the wife is waking up. then her changes inside her are going to manifest themselves in the relationship. A lot of times when people are waking up, their relationships are breaking down, their reality around them changes. So you gotta understand that this process can be very hard. You have to be very responsible in that and understand. You gotta understand what is going on, and do not be scared of that. When you get an understanding, you can control it. Okay, and watch my videos, and I will be talking a lot about step-by-step processes, a lot of subjects which are all interconnected into this. So follow me on Facebook, on YouTube, subscribe, so that you can be all the time on topic. And if you have any more questions, you're more than welcome to contact me personally. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.